Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live discussion. We are going to talk about the Argentina national team versus Ecuador in the quarterfinals of the Copa America. We're going to take your questions. We're going to talk about Lionel Messi, Lautaro Martinez. We're going to talk about everything. Let's get to it. My name is Roy Nemer of MundalBiceleste.com. I'm joined by Osvaldo Godoy, also of MundalBiceleste.com. And as we always do, let us know in the comments down below where you're watching us from. We tend to get from all around the world in every single chat, live discussion. Let us know in the comments down below. And let's get to it. Osvaldo, how are you?
I'm doing well, Roy. A pleasure to join you. As I was telling you before the live, kind of anxious and also excited about tomorrow's game. I'm a little bit nervous, also, to be honest. Of course, I trust in Scaloni, in our team, and in our players, but still, I think this is the first match that we're gonna feel the pressure because it's a match that if you lose, you're out, and we know that it's only 90 minutes. If we tie, there's penalties right away, so we're gonna feel the pressure.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a different kind of game versus Ecuador. It's never easy. You just mentioned it. It's 90 minutes. There's no extra time. So if the match is tied, if it's a draw, we go straight to penalty kicks, to a penalty shootout. No extra time, and that could be very massive in the Copa America. Let's get to the chat. Let's get to everything, all of that right away. Uh, Welcome to Corsiniats, 9:37 p.m. in Waterloo, Iowa, in the United States. Welcome. Argentina fan watching from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, the nation's capital. Happy belated Canada Day and happy early 4th of July to everybody as well. Liam, welcome. Janet, hello from Toronto, welcome. Zungao from Kentucky, excellent. Hello, thank you for joining us. I'm gonna skip BC's comment, not because I don't want to bring it up, but we're gonna skip this one just for now. We're not gonna bring it up. Midway, welcome all the way from Denmark. Much love. Thank you for joining us. I believe it's probably the middle of the night or very early morning over in Denmark. So thank you for spending your late evening or your late night or early morning with us. And thank you everybody as well. We're here to discuss Argentina versus Ecuador, the quarterfinals, Copa America in Houston, Texas. We're going to talk about Lionel Messi in just a second. That appears to be everything that's going on. Osvaldo, you said it's going to be a big test. I mean, do you see this as being the first big test of this Copa America for Argentina?
Yes, I see it that way because, well, we had our first match against Canada, even though the first half was kind of difficult for us, but then we were able to score to win the game 2-0. Then against Chile, it was kind of hard, but then we scored. But there was not a single moment that we really doubt about qualifying to the next round. It wasn't like in the World Cup that in the first match we lost against Saudi Arabia. Um, I think that yeah, there's the big difference is gonna be it has to do with the pressure, but also we also have to take into consideration that this squad, these players, are used to this pressure, especially after what we suffered in 2022 after the first match. So I think they're used to it. They're used to it also in their clubs, and we play really well. I think that there's not also the individualities of Argentina, but also our collective play that in these moments is very important. If we concentrate on playing our football, in playing the way we know how to play, I think that we should go on to the next round.
Yeah, I think so too. It's mixed memorabilia mentioning, hello, it's the first knockout game since the World Cup, and something that you mentioned, Osvaldo, this team has that experience from the World Cup, right? They have that where it went to extra time, the heartbreaks, or the near heartbreaks, and that first match versus Saudi Arabia, that was definitely something. That is experience. And we're going to get to Messi in literally just a couple of moments now. We're going to talk about him. But this team, you and I, we were at this game, Argentina versus Peru in Florida. Messi did not play. Scaloni or Samuel rotated the team. Walter Samuel, they rotated the team. Argentina still won. It was never that close. So Argentina have players that are rested. Someone like Messi, someone like a Rodrigo de Paul that did not play versus Peru. it's the first big test for Argentina, but there's definitely some stuff that I'm not going to say it's in Argentina's favor, but definitely helps Argentina, at least in terms of player fitness, and not
No,
necessarily
for
just
sure,
Messi.
for sure. Let me tell you a couple of things that I was actually listening to a couple of reports that they were saying. So right now in Houston, it's more or less at this time of tomorrow. It's gonna be 31 Celsius, which is a lot. It's gonna be hot, but this stadium, as the one in Atlanta, they have AC, so it shouldn't be that hot. Not like the one in Miami. We were both in that stadium. It was so hot, even from
That
the
was
stands. I
very
can't
hot.
imagine from the
Yeah.
field running the 90 minutes. Good. It was good that the players that are gonna play tomorrow were not the ones that played that day. And something else that I was actually reading today, I actually listened it from Gaston Edul, that the field is not in the best conditions, according to what they were saying. It appears to be a little bit longer than what they would want it to be. So we'll see how all these factors, if they play a role tomorrow.
Yeah, there's always something. I mean, you mentioned the heat. It was very, very hot in Miami for that game. And we felt it, the players felt it. But again, the advantage for Argentina is they have a big squad and they were able to rest some players for that match. The pitch has, unfortunately at the Copa America, not that it has not become an issue, it has become the norm. It really is normal now where you have certain games that the pitch is not great and other matches where maybe it's a little bit better. And Argentina, it seems like in every single game that's a talking point. So hopefully it's not
Yeah,
one for tomorrow.
yeah, no, and it's not crying like ahead of time,
No, no,
but
no.
it's true that when you have a team that plays better than the other team, if there's something like the conditions of the field that are not the best, then that makes it a little bit more even. So that's why it makes sense
Yeah.
of Argentina talking about it, criticizing it, because it affects Argentina the most, I would say.
Oh no, of course, of course. And I think this, along with the rule that it does not go to extra time and go straight to penalties, to penalty kicks, that I think is also something that maybe does not favor Argentina, right? Or the favorites rather.
Yeah,
I
that
think so.
the 90 minutes is gonna be the quarterfinals, the semifinals, the final. If we get to a final, there will be extra time there, and
Yes.
then penalties, but it would be only the quarterfinals and the semifinals that they don't have extra time.
No extra time in that. Let's get to the chat just a little bit. Binura, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Um, get to Midway's asking where I got the World Cup and Ballon d'Or trophies. I got them a local shop here in Canada. Nearby, it's a very good place called Evangelista Sports. You could check them out. Evangelista Sports, very very good. I get all my stuff from there. Matthias, welcome. Hi guys. Sadly, cannot stay long. 6 a.m. start tomorrow. 11 p.m. here. Ouch. That's very not good. But hopefully, get to watch the game, Matthias, and cheer on the players. Um, let's see. Wow, Binura from Tonga. Hello, hello. Hope
Well,
things go well tomorrow. I hope so too, my friend, and thank you for joining us. Um, let's get to more here. Lautaro Golden Boot says BC. I mean, he's at 4 goals in 3 matches for Argentina, 2 of which he was not a starter. So, knock on wood, we could see him ending the tournament as one. Let's see what else there is. Varun's asking Osvaldo. I don't know if you have an idea, or if anybody here in the chat has an idea. Is it grass or is it turf? I don't know how it is in Houston
Yeah,
actually.
I read the comment. I actually don't know. Let me Google it and
All
let me see.
right, let's do it.
And
We'll
also,
look it
yeah,
up.
Lautaro Martinez has 4 goals, and then the others that they're like 9 players that have 2 goals. So Lautaro Martinez could potentially be the guy
The
with the most goals in the tournament.
most goals. BC saying Ecuador is going to play for a 0-0. It wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. I would not be totally surprised if that were the case. It's going to be a difficult game, especially the way Argentina sets up. We'll talk about the rumored 11 that could potentially start for Argentina. I would not be surprised if that were the case. I feel like Ecuador is going to play a physical game, and they'll definitely try and counter Argentina whenever they can, and definitely try as Shah Finesse is saying, probably park the bus. I could see that happening. Sheikh, welcome. Says 4 a.m. here in Saudi. Wow, that is definitely something. I think you mean 4 a.m. for the kickoff match, or 4 a.m. right now. Either way, Sheikh, thank you for joining us. John, welcome as well, all the way from Malaysia. BC from New York. Shah from Malaysia as well. Thank you for joining us, my friend. Thank you for joining. Let's continue. We'll get to some more comments in just a second. Let's get to the big talking point, I suppose. Lionel Messi. Is Messi going to start? And my question to everybody before we get to that even is, would you start Messi or would you rest him and save him for the second half? Let me know in the comments. Osvaldo, what do you think? Will Messi start?
I don't know if he will start. I was actually reading to Gaston Edu. He was saying that maybe even tonight Scaloni would like make a decision, or maybe they'll wait for tomorrow. I wouldn't start him. I would put him probably in the second half, even if it doesn't matter the score. I would like make him play in the second half, more taking into consideration that he didn't play the third match. He needs some rhythm in case Argentina continues in the tournament. Um, but I think that either way, he wouldn't play more than 60 minutes if he's a starter. So I'd rather put him in the second half. I think he could be more decisive there.
Yeah, I see. I do tend to agree about that, and I'll get to the chat actually right away, and I'll give my thoughts right after that. Um, Shah Finesse is saying I would play him in the second half. George is saying rest Messi. Janet is saying no, prefer off the bench at 60 minutes. Kursiniats is saying depends on his fitness. Calvin, yes, and with no extra time, it benefits the lesser teams usually, but it's opposite with the subs changed to 5 after the pandemic from 3. That's another thing to take into consideration as well, right? If Messi does not start the match, and for whatever reason you need a goal, you bring him on, you might only have him for 45 minutes or 30 minutes, or depending on when you bring him on. So that could be a factor. That could definitely be a factor. George is saying risk Messi versus Ecuador. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Jade, all right. Jade is saying if Messi wants to start, I would start him. Should not take Ecuador for granted. I do agree. I don't think we should take Ecuador for granted at all. I think it's going to be
Yeah.
difficult.
And I also believe, continue with that comment, that
Yeah.
Messi might have a lot to do with that decision more than Scaloni. I think that Scaloni will ask Messi, and Messi, and he said it in an interview lately, how he knows at this point of his career when he's in good, like optimal to play, or when he has an injury. So I think
Yeah.
that he will be the one that decides it, and that's the smartest decision, just to see how Messi is feeling before the match.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think that's probably the best way to look at it and to go about it. I mean, Scaloni might say, Messi, I'm not going to start you. If Messi says, no, I'm ready, I'm fit, I'm good to go, then he's going to start. He's going to play. He's going to play. Sheikh is saying Messi should not start. Zachary, start him. We can't let this go to penalties. So we're really getting some mixed kind of reactions, some mixed comments, mixed memorabilia. Play Messi as a sub, and this works for the future. I mean, wow, Lucas, if I'm Scaloni, I'm spanking Messi, making him play 90 minutes. This is another one. Now, this could, and this is a good, comment here by Liam as well. Maybe not starting Messi could give Ecuador that boost. It might allow Ecuador to think, you know what, Messi's not on the pitch. We could take a little bit more risk, play a little bit more comfortably, and might give him a little boost. Who knows? Honestly, it's going to be an interesting decision to see if he does play or not. Personally speaking, I think Messi does start, and the reason why I say this is because there's no extra time. I think if Messi thinks he's ready to go for 90 minutes, he'll go for 90 minutes. If there was extra time, then I could see Messi starting on the bench. because if Messi starts and there was extra time, there's no way Messi goes 120 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't think. I don't think.
No,
But
I agree. I
time will
agree,
tell.
and I also think that this is a knockout stage.
Yeah.
And although some, yeah, like in theory, in the papers, we're better than Ecuador, we should beat Ecuador. But still, it's a 90-minute match, and you want to give everything you have at this point. And then we'll see if Messi has to leave in the minute 60 or 70 or whatever. Uh, but the truth is, this is the important moment of the Copa America. Like the group
Absolutely.
stage, we were lucky enough to win it, to win the group with 9 points. But now it's
That
the
means nothing
important
though.
thing, and I think that the best players should play.
Yeah. No, exactly. Exactly. I mean, on paper, yes, it's great. 3 wins out of three, 9 points. Technically doesn't mean much, right? Like right now, it doesn't mean anything in that sense. So
It's funny because I started saying that Messi should play the second half, but I ended up saying that Messi should start. So yeah, it's funny, but I think that Messi should start.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair. I would start him just because there's no 120 minutes. I would start him. I definitely would. So there you go. Mixed Memorabilia saying Messi must play, and Binura saying if Ecuador opens up, if Messi does not play, it could also inadvertently lead to advantage Argentina. For me, Messi should play in the second half. We should beat Ecuador regardless. All due respect to them. So again, we're getting some mixed reactions, and Shafin is saying Ecuador is going to be physical tomorrow as well. Maybe we don't want to risk playing Messi. So we'll see. Time will tell. And the other thing as well, and I already know my answer, but who do you think is going to start? Who would you start? Let us know in the comments. Julian Alvarez or Lautaro Martinez or both of them. What do you guys
yes.
think?
I have a difficult answer for this one. I
Okay.
believe that if Messi plays, Julian Alvarez should play, and if Messi doesn't play, Lautaro Martinez should play. And I say this basically because of a balance in defense. Because we all know that Messi is the best player in the world, but when it comes to defending, he doesn't participate at all, and that's totally fine. That's perfect. Um, but in that case, we need someone like Julian Alvarez that can pressure and defend and be one more in defense. Um, in case Messi doesn't play, then Di Maria, although Di Maria is not a defensive player, but he can defend a little bit more than Messi, and we can have Lautaro Martinez uh, on top who can defend but not as good as Julian Alvarez. So that's why I think that I would make the decision based if Messi plays or not.
Okay. See, now you're changing my mind a little bit, or maybe my train of thought. I'll get to the comments and then I'll give you my opinion here. Cosinet's saying Alvarez. George is saying play both of them. BC both. Janet saying both as well. Matias is saying maybe a 4-4-2 with both Lautaro and Julian. BC. Lautaro's in better form. Um, Varun is thinking the same way as you are, saying it depends on if Messi's starting or not. Julian, otherwise Lautaro. Zachary agrees with you, Osvaldo, as well. This comment here, Tamujit, Lautaro has 9, Alvarez on the right, Di Maria on the left. Okay. Midway, I like Alvarez way more than Lautaro for Argentina, but Lautaro has been crucial in the group, so it's a hard question. Yes, we only ask the hard questions here. Zachary, Messi also links better with Julian. Lucas is saying Lautaro. Aditya saying Lautaro must start. So a lot of Lautaros and a lot of both. Sayan is saying both, and Mixed Memorabilia is saying different players. Lautaro offers more dimensions. So, I had my answer before you gave your answer, Osvaldo, and it kind of made me think a little bit because my answer was Lautaro. Because in my opinion, I think the way Ecuador is going to set up is they're going to sit deep. They're going to sit deep, they're going to defend deep, and they're going to try and hit on the counter. So in that sense, I think you want someone that's maybe a little bit in better form, which, I think it's fair to say Lautaro's in better goal-scoring form than Julian, even though Julian scored in the opening match versus Canada. So I would go more for Julian. For Lautaro. But if Messi doesn't play, maybe Ecuador changes up their tactics a little bit. then you need someone like Julian who will pressure, who will press to try and get that ball back. So then I would play Julian. So I guess, you know what? I guess I'm going to have to go with you, Osvaldo. If Messi does not play, I have Julian. If Messi does play, I have Lautaro. Or actually, maybe a little bit different from your answer. I think because if Messi plays, Ecuador is going to sit back, or I think they're going to sit back either way. So you need Lautaro. And when Ecuador does attack, then you're going to get Julian. I don't know if my answer made a bit of sense there, but
Yes, it did.
yeah,
And I think that that attacking line is the only one that we have so many doubts about it.
options.
We
Yeah.
also don't know exactly if Di Maria or Nico Gonzalez are going to start. I believe. I don't know, Roy, if you know
The,
something about that.
yeah, well, I was just reading the from Gaston Edul, and he was saying the rumored or the possible 11 is that it would be Nicolas Gonzalez and Lautaro Martinez starting. So no Di Maria, no Julian Alvarez. That's obviously,
Yes.
what he said. No one knows 100% up until kickoff or maybe right before kickoff. Um, I'll be honest. I know a lot of people have hated on Nicolas Gonzalez a little bit or criticized him. I thought he did very well versus Chile. If he does play versus Ecuador, it's going to be more for the defensive part, I believe, and not so much for the attacking. I don't know. I thought, for example, someone like Garnacho, I thought Garnacho did well in that first half versus Peru. There's no way he was going to start. So it was always going to be between Di Maria and Nicolas Gonzalez. And I think something that you mentioned, Osvaldo, maybe in the last video we did, or maybe we kind of spoke about it off air, but I don't think we're going to get Messi and Di Maria starting at this Copa America, like both of them in the same match. I don't think we're going to get that. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, I think we only saw it in the first match, right? Messi
yeah,
and Di Maria
versus
starting only in
Canada.
the first match. Yes,
Yeah,
and I believe that the harder the matches or the rivals get, it's difficult to see Di Maria and Messi because they're both players that are really good in attack, but maybe they don't contribute to the defense as much, and
right.
that's why I think for this tournament, for most of the tournaments lately, Scaloni prefers Nico Gonzalez in that left side.
Yeah,
Because again, yeah, Gonzalez in attack, he has received some criticism, and it's true he sometimes doesn't take the best decisions, especially with the Argentina national team. Because with Fiorentina, he has been playing well,
yeah,
um, but in defense, he gives a lot to the team, a lot. Uh, he can even like Scaloni try him as a left back either. So that's
yeah.
how much he trusts on Nicolas Gonzalez' defensive abilities.
Yeah, no, he does. And the other thing to take into consideration as well for Nicolas Gonzalez, and I'll get to the chat in just a moment, um, is the fact that we can't forget Nicolas Tagliafico, the other Nicolas in the team, because Tagliafico with Acuna rumored to not being maybe 100% fit. Tagliafico started the last match versus Peru. Tagliafico has been playing in both matches as well. So he played in all three matches in the group stages. He's going to play in this one as well. He's going to start. So he might need a little bit of help down that left side as well. And having someone like Nicolas Gonzalez, it's not a bad idea, at least defensively. At least
No,
defensively.
it's true. It's true.
Let's look at the chat here. What everyone is saying. Let's take a look. George is saying, Lautaro, this guy has blood in his eyes. He wants to eat everybody alive. It's great to see. Kursiniat saying Nicolas Gonzalez should be handy against physical Ecuadorians. Midway, a little bit different than Kursiniat, saying Nico cannot start. No way. This count here, Shahwait saying, no, Nico, please. Zachary, I was never a fan of Gonzalez. Bro doesn't like to pass the ball. So many times I saw him not pass to Messi and shot and missed. He'd be in there probably more for his defensive contributions, maybe a little bit more than his attacking ones. BC saying, cannot start two 36-year-old forwards. Scaloni learned from that game versus Canada. I agree. I don't think we're going to get that. Probably not. Probably not. And let's see, Mohammed saying Nico, Lautaro, and Messi. BC Tagliafico for Acuna is a good change. Liam saying Gonzalez is also one of the only good ones in the air, which can help if we are struggling to create chances. All right. And Sheikh saying, I prefer Lo Celso over Nicolas Gonzalez. All right. And one last comment, then we'll continue on. Sreya saying, Nicolas Gonzalez will thrive in this tournament. After he scores, he should get the monkey off his back like Lautaro. Hopefully, he's due for a goal. Nicolas Gonzalez is due for a goal. Before we go any further, I just want to remind everybody, we do have a giveaway going on for an Argentina Lionel Messi jersey. This one, well, not specifically this one, but a similar one, let's say. And all you guys have to do, the details are on Twitter. It's on our Instagram page. It's on YouTube. Essentially, reply to this video. Reply in the comments or any video we have. We get them all. Reply with your Instagram username. Follow We Are Messi on Instagram. Comment on Mundo Albiceleste's latest Instagram post, and you're entered to win this jersey. And tentatively, looks like we're going to be giving it away tomorrow, I guess, after the match versus Ecuador, I suppose, Osvaldo. Might be the
probably.
time. Might be the time, yeah. All right. With that said, let's talk a little bit about Ecuador. We were talking about this off air, Osvaldo, some of the players that they have. We mentioned Valencia, not Antonio Valencia, but another one, the other Valencia. The other also very, very good Valencia. But who do you think Argentina should be looking out for, at least on paper, in regards to this? And we were talking about it earlier.
Yes. In attack, I would say Valencia, who is, he's 34 years old. He plays in Internacional of Brazil. Of course, he's not in his best moment. His best moment have already happened. But he's the help me with how you say it, like the goal times.
All-time leading goal scorer.
That's what I was trying to say, with 87, and then the second has 70. So, in the World Cup, he also, I remember, scored the first 2 goals in the opening match against Qatar, if I'm not mistaken. Then they have Kendry Páez, who is only 17 years old, and he's really, really good. He already played in the qualifiers, and he plays in the starting lineup. He plays for Independiente del Valle. He has a market value of 12 million already, with only being 17 years old. And then more in defense, they have players like Piero Hincapié, who plays in Bayer Leverkusen, who was a teammate of Ezequiel Palacios, whose market value is of 40 million. He's a good center back. And of course, Moises Caicedo, Chelsea, Enzo Fernandez's teammate at Chelsea, who is a really good midfielder. I think that they have really good players. Compared to Argentina, I think we have better players, especially in every single area of the field. Maybe they have 3 or 4 that are good, really good. But I think that based on the amount of good players they haven't performed at that level at all. They've been playing not the best football. They lost against Venezuela. It is true that they like one of their players received a red card in the minute, I think, 20 something, and then against Jamaica they won, and then against Mexico they really didn't play that well. Mexico was better overall. So I think we're playing a team who has better names than their collective play. I think that they can play even better than what they're playing right now.
Than what they're playing, no, absolutely, and they have some very, very good players. Obviously, both teams know each other very well, not just from Copa America as a World Cup qualifiers. These 2 teams played each other about not even a month ago, or 1 month ago, so the teams know each other. It's going to be a close game. I'll look at the comments. Calvin, I fully agree, my friend. Calvin saying Ecuador is a difficult opponent. Even with the win, it's almost always tricky. They press, they run tirelessly, they play compact and physical. It will be difficult. Both teams actually met at the very same round at the 2021 Copa America in the quarterfinals, and that one was a close game. I remember De Paul scored, and then Messi scored that free kick, but it was very, very close. It's never easy against them. It's never, if Argentina do win, it's never by 3, 4, 5, 6 goals. It's always very minimal and very, very difficult. Midway, Kendry Paez, even though I don't think he's been crazy good the times I've seen him in this tournament, I still think we all know how good he can be. George, Argentina's biggest threat with Ecuador is going to be hard fouls and potential injuries. That's one. And the referee, if I'm not mistaken, for this match is the same one that refereed Argentina versus Chile. If I'm not mistaken, I had read that. So depending on what you thought about the referee, Argentina versus Chile, it looks like it's going to be the same one for the quarterfinals versus Ecuador. So
Yeah, I think that the Chileans were the ones that uh, argue the most about that referee than rather than us.
they,
Yeah, I don't know why they complain too so much.
I
I
don't know.
don't.
I mean, did they even score a goal at this Copa America? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But I'm taking a look at our lineup
yeah,
against Ecuador. We play actually them in June
quarterfinals.
9.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. In June 9. That it was the one of the last friendly games before the
yes,
Copa America, and Di Maria scored 1-0. In that game, Messi didn't start. Julian Alvarez and Lautaro Martinez played together in attack, and
yeah,
then the center backs were the ones that probably will play tomorrow: Cuti Romero, Lisandro Martinez, and then the midfield was Paredes, De Paul, and Lo Celso. That was basically the midfield that we use in the Copa America of 2021. Of course, there's gonna be different players tomorrow,
of
uh,
course.
but in that match, I remember that we were way better than them. If I'm not mistaken, I'm taking a look right now. They didn't have a single shot on target. The possession of the ball was 65% for Argentina, and we were overall way better than them.
Yeah. No, no, I remember Argentina played better, but it was it someone wrote 3-0 in 2021. For some reason I thought it was 2-0, so I do apologize. Thank you, BC, for bringing that up. But still, even at 3-0, it was difficult because I remember up until De Paul's goal, it was tight. I remember that it was very difficult to get that first goal. The ball just would not go in. Janet, yes, the referee's from Uruguay. There you go. I mean, talking about Uruguay, they have a very, very big game ahead of them versus Brazil. That is one game. I don't care who you are, you do not want to miss. I don't
For
care.
sure.
You don't want to miss that.
Who do
Let's talk.
you who do
Yeah,
you think
go
is
ahead.
gonna win the game?
Look, it depends. Logic, which does not always exist in football, I think logic says Uruguay. If we're talking recent history between both teams at Copas, Brazil have Uruguay's number. Uruguay have a very good coach in Marcelo Bielsa, but a very good coach who's not, and this sounds bad, but is not known to win tournaments. Brazil's Brazil, and Brazil are going to be without Vinicius. So I don't know. Logically, on paper, everything points to Uruguay, and they're playing extremely well, but it's Brazil. I don't know. And Brazil got very lucky versus Colombia, I think. I don't know what everybody in the chat thinks. What do you think, Osvaldo?
Yeah, I didn't know Vinicius was not gonna play. He has like 2 yellow cards.
Suspended. Yeah, suspended.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a difficult one. It's good. I think I was reading it today in one of the chats from Mundo Biceleste in the website. That is good to see all those incredible matches in the other bracket, right?
Yeah.
Brazil against
Yeah.
Uruguay, then potentially one of them against Colombia. I think those three are the the hardest rivals that Argentina could have, and we could only potentially play them in the final. Um, but I also think I agree with you. Like the logic says that Uruguay should beat Brazil. They are playing better. I even think that with Vinicius not in the field, I think Uruguay has better players than Brazil
Oh yeah.
overall. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
but also collectively, they've been playing just really well with Marcelo Bielsa as their coach. So this is gonna be a great game.
It's going to be a very good game. Yeah, I agree. I think it's on Saturday night for us here in North America. It might be early Sunday morning, or yeah, very, very early Sunday or Sunday evening morning. Sorry,
Yes,
in
yes. I
some
mean,
parts of the world.
Argentina plays Ecuador tomorrow at night here in America.
9
Then
p.m.
Friday, it's at 9 p.m. also here Eastern Time, Venezuela against Canada.
Yeah,
Then Saturday is going to be Colombia, Panama, a little bit earlier at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And that same day at night, at 9
Ooh.
p.m. Eastern time. Uruguay Brazil. So that Saturday is gonna be nice too.
Yeah, that's gonna be. There's some good matches. There are absolutely some good matches at this Copa America coming up. Looking at some of the comments, Varun is saying Vinicius is suspended. Uruguay will win. Shah Fitness is saying Brazil could chalk Uruguay. My heart says so. BC Uruguay have a history of upsetting Brazil. No, I mean, of course they do. Of course they do. But I'm talking more specifically recent Copa America times. I feel like Brazil kind of has their number on that. Mixed memorabilia, Uruguay will beat Brazil. Calvin, if it was a group match, I think Uruguay win, but in knockout, I think Brazil. So, we're getting some mixed comments. Midway, I said it before the tournament, even though Uruguay looks better, I feel like Brazil are still going to go further than them, simply due to the know-how of these tournaments. Uruguay haven't been good in years. George, I was not aware of that Brazil's coach only wore 4 stars on his shirt, on his jacket. I don't know. Was not aware of that. As for the game itself, BC keys to score in the first half. Don't let them feel like they won, keeping it scoreless. And finally, Marcelo Bielsa is not a tournament-winning coach, says AJ. So a lot of interesting comments in regards to Brazil versus Colombia. Moving on, we have one more thing to talk about. We're all talking about the Copa America, and there's a small tournament called the Euros going on as well. I say that jokingly, of course. But later this summer or winter, depending on where you are in the world, the Olympics will be starting. And for Argentina, coach Javier Mascherano has announced his squad for the Olympics. The 3 overage players are Geronimo Rulli, Nicolas Otamendi, and Julian Alvarez. Rulli was there in 2016 for Argentina, where honestly he didn't have a very good tournament. I know the team didn't play too well, but him specifically, he didn't have a great tournament. For Otamendi and Alvarez, this is their first time at the Olympics, or would be their first time at the Olympics. It's a pretty strong team. Osvaldo, what do you think of this?
I agree. I think we have a strong team. I also think that we could have had a stronger team. There were some players that in the end didn't come to Argentina. Dibu Martinez was the main choice as a goalkeeper. They didn't let him. Same with, I guess, Enzo Fernandez. But I think overall we can't complain. There's a lot of really good players that are participating on it. I see. I don't know. I don't like much the balance between how many defenders, midfielders, and attackers are. I think there's a lot of players in attack, and not so many midfielders. Although the midfielders that they are there, I like them a lot. But still, I think that there's a lot of players in the attacking position, especially as forwards. We have Beltran, we have Julian Alvarez.
Juliano Simeone, Echeverri. There's a lot of attacking players. I do agree with you on that as well, though. I'm not a fan of the way the team is cut out or structured. I think it's a lot of attacking players. I believe on paper he only took 4 or 5 midfielders. Here, I'll bring this up. I'll bring up
Yeah,
the
no, yeah, we have
team.
as midfielders Ezequiel Fernandez, Santiago Gese, Christian Medina, and Kevin Zenon. Those are the 4. 3 out of those 4 from Boca Juniors.
Yeah,
And I really like them, all them 4. I also believe that I imagine Mascherano thinking about a 4-4-2 with the last with the midfielder being for example the one closer to the rivals box being Thiago Almada or Claudio Echeverri, so those forwards could play potentially also as midfielders because they are kind of midfielders too.
yeah.
But still, I think we're lacking some players in the midfield.
Yeah, no, we really are. We really are. I'm reading some excuse me. I'm reading some comments, and I guess we'll get to them. Midway saying no, Divo is making the Olympic ruins it for me. He's the only one I trust currently of the Argentinian goalkeepers I know of. Obviously, Divo wanted to go, but Aston Villa would not release him. the messenger of the covenant, saying this is a good squad considering all the players who could not make it, and that's true. I mean, no Matias Soule, no Valentin Barco, no Luca Romero, no Garnacho, no Nico Paz. There's a lot of big name players that are missing. Granted, Garnacho is with the senior team at the Copa America, but the rest aren't. There's a lot of players that are missing. A lot of players that are missing.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
Yeah, I don't really understand how they don't let, for example, Nico Paz go, who is basically doesn't have any minutes in Real Madrid. I think that one of the main reasons, if I'm not mistaken, is that the preseason is during that time
yeah,
too. So, and that's a very
I,
important part of the
I,
season, because it's how they prepare the players to play them in the season. But still,
no, I mean, as crazy as this sounds, I read there was a tweet that passed earlier. Tottenham Hotspur, their preseason begins in 2 weeks, apparently, or the players are back in training in 2 weeks.
wow.
That's middle of July already. It's crazy with these, the tours, the world tours, and everything that they're doing. But even with that, I mean, like you said, I mean, Nico Pass is not. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve to be or shouldn't be, but he's not an important part of Madrid right now. Madrid could do without Nico Pass, at least at the start of the season or during preseason. But Madrid don't have a great. I know they've had some great Argentinian players that have played for the club, but when it comes to helping the Argentina national team, not so much.
Yeah,
Not so much. And
I thought it was funny when I saw Julian Alvarez name, because I remember always that anecdote between Guardiola and Messi.
Messi, yeah,
Messi not being happy of Guardiola not letting him go from Barcelona to the, I think it was 2008 Olympics, and I guess now he learned his lesson.
yeah, yeah, he did. I remember when all of that was going on. Barcelona, the staff, the management did not want Messi to go, and this was Pep's first season in charge. And he said no, because Pep went to the Olympics in Barcelona in '92, where Spain won gold, if I'm not mistaken, and he was there. And he said I wanted Messi to experience that same thing, so Messi went. So that's why I'm not surprised that Alvarez is going, although I kind of am, just because Manchester City they always have a big schedule, but so I'm surprised in that. But I'm not surprised because it is Pep and he did it with Messi, so I'm not surprised he does it with Alvarez as well. Um,
Let,
and
let me ask you about,
yeah,
what do you think about the overage players? Jerónimo Rul, Nicolás Otamendi, Julian Alvarez.
look, I'm not Geronimo Rulli's biggest fan, and I'm not a fan of having somebody go to the Olympics twice. Rulli had his chance in 2016, even though that team was destined to fail, and it wasn't because of them. It was the AFA, the clubs. No one wanted to help that Olympic team, so that's not their fault. But Rulli already went to the Olympics. Taking an overage goalkeeper, I would prefer to take somebody else over Rulli, in my opinion. Um, Maybe a Walter Benitez, maybe if you want to go down that road, or even Juan Musso, or anybody really. So yeah, I would have preferred maybe a different goalkeeper. As for Otamendi, I mean, he's a veteran. He wants to go at his age. I don't know how well he might fare up against some of the quicker players at that tournament, because I could see him struggling in that regards. And that's not a knock on Otamendi. I love the guy, but sometimes age does become a factor, and he was never really the fastest. But he'll bring experience. He'll bring that physicalness. He'll bring that grit. So I'm happy with him, and I'm very very happy with Alvarez. Actually, I'm super happy with having Alvarez there. He's won everything there is to win. He's still very young. He could still offer a lot to this team, and having him almost being a veteran in this team, in this Olympic squad, he's only going to grow from that. So I'm very happy with Alvarez. I don't know about you, Osvaldo, and everybody else in the chat.
Yeah, no, I agree with your point of view. I think that we also have to give credit to Mascherano, because yeah, from here, like, we analyze it, and we might say, oh, why are we taking Alvarez when we have Beltran, Gondu, Simeone? Maybe instead of Alvarez we can take our midfielder, because we only have four. But it's also true that I guess Mascherano chooses, more than chooses, he basically gets whatever he gets approved. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not that he decides, oh, I'm gonna take this, this, and this. It's more like, oh, I want to take one of these, and please let me have at least one. That's,
yeah,
I think, how it works with the clubs in general. So I kind of understand why maybe we have too many forwards and not so many midfielders.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. That's true. Actually, I didn't really think of it too much in that sense. And kind of like he will take what they give him almost, right? Like he won't really try and pick and choose. And that's been an issue in the past. I don't know if you're aware of this, Osvaldo. I don't know if you guys here in the chat have heard this before or are aware of this. Do you guys? I don't know if you guys remember what happened in 2016 with Tata Martino, where he was coaching the senior team and he was also coaching the Olympic team. And when he started picking players for the Olympics, and essentially every club in Argentina said, no, we're not going to give you players. And that was kind of the federation's way indirectly of forcing Tata Martino to step down. So Martino stepped down. In came, I think it was Julio Olarticochea. He coached the team, and he infamously said that he actually had to take money from his daughter
Wow.
to go to the Olympics to travel and help the team. So dark times. It hasn't always been easy, especially for the Olympics for Argentina. So I kind of get maybe like as you said, Osvaldo, that point of view from Mascherano in terms of, you know what, I'll take what you guys give me. I'm not going to beg too much. If you gives me 6 forwards and 4 midfielders, I'm going to take 6 forwards and 4 midfielders. So maybe that's his train of thought as well in regards to
No,
that.
yeah, it's good that you brought that up because sometimes we forget, especially after this period where Argentina is winning everything and everyone wants to be in the national team.
Yeah,
But yeah, I remember those Olympics where, and it not only happened with the Olympics, sometimes even some
World
clubs
Cups
from
under 20.
Argentina, Boca, River Plate, and their fans wouldn't like players to go for 1 or 2 matches with the Argentina national team because they would miss
Yeah,
1 or 2 matches in the
Copa
Argentine League or in
Libertadores.
the Copa Libertadores or whatever. Uh, so
Yeah,
that has always been an issue, and I think that especially from the clubs and the directives, the presidents and stuff, who would always think about themselves and about the club, and putting the national team in a very low position, which I never thought it was smart, because if your player plays in the national team, either if it's at the Olympic level, under 20, under 23, or the senior team, it's
yeah,
always good for the player first, as a kid that grew up playing soccer, football. It's a dream for them to play in the national team. So you're kind of not letting them do that. And secondly, because if your player performs well in the national team, they're at least $5 million, like more expensive. It's like common sense.
yeah. It's true. It's true. But I feel like clubs don't always see it that way. They always see it as like a short term, like right now, we're gonna miss a player right now. We need him right now, as opposed to thinking later on, in 1 year, or if they decide to sell him, well, they could add that extra, as you said, maybe 5 million onto the price or a little bit more even. Um, so that's always something to take into consideration when it comes to the Olympics, or when it comes to even the under 20 team, right, for the World Cup or whatever it is. It's always something to take into consideration, that the clubs don't always let the players go. Um, all right, let's take a look at John's comment here. In the end, the Olympics is for me just a good time to try out new players. We won gold medal in the past. It never necessarily reflected success at the senior national team level, which is, you know, that second part is kind of true to a certain extent. I mean, the players right now that won that World Cup, aside from Messi and Di Maria, none of them won gold, right, at the Olympics, except for them. But I feel like it does help, bringing players together and gelling the team and everything. Um, and Sreya saying the Olympics is Otamendi's last tournament for Argentina. Possibly, possibly, especially now that he's not really a starter anymore. It's Lisandro Martinez starting in his place. All right. On that note, Osvaldo, before we wrap things up, anything you wanted to mention or talk about?
Not really, just anxious and excited about tomorrow's game. I think it would be really pleasant to watch the next couple of games of the Copa America after Argentina in case we advance.
Yeah.
Uh, it's I don't know. I always remember after watching the first game of expecting the World Cup too much, then the first game of Argentina losing against Saudi Arabia, and then I stopped enjoying football until we beat Mexico again. So I just kind of that much to happen to try to enjoy it. Argentina hopefully advancing to the next round, and then just relax in my couch watching the other couple of games.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I'm the same. If Argentina win, then you can kind of enjoy the other quarterfinal matches and let Colombia and sorry, let Uruguay and Brazil beat each other up and have us enjoy and see what happens with Colombia and the other teams. But yeah, I'm the same. It's not going to be an easy match. I think it's going to be a difficult match for Argentina versus Ecuador, and we'll hold our breath when it comes to Messi if he starts or not. I guess last question, Messenger of the Covenant. Uh, I think on paper France wins, and I don't know what's going to happen between Germany and Spain just because Germany's playing at home, but I think Spain has a better team. Osvaldo, I don't know what you think in terms of.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yes, I think France. I think France will pass, and I think Spain
And
will
Spain
will
as well.
advance. Some good matches. All of them are when Friday.
Friday, those two are on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
Wow.
those
Yeah,
two are on
some
Friday.
good couple of games. So on Friday,
Yeah,
yeah, we have those games, and then the Venezuela against Canada.
yeah. So
Yeah.
some good games, a lot of stuff,
Oh, for
a
sure.
lot of football, a lot of football.
And
On that
then
note, yeah.
the Olympic Games. And no, this never stops.
And then after that, we get the league, the European leagues that start again, and the Champions League, and the
Yeah,
Europa
yeah.
League, and the Conference League,
You
and
know that
everything.
the July 14th, it's the Copa America final,
Yeah,
the
15 is
Euros
Euro
final,
final.
and for me that I love tennis. It's the Wimbledon final. So all the finals in one
Ah,
day.
wow! All in one weekend, essentially.
Yeah, yeah,
All in one weekend. Nice, nice. That's gonna be a weekend to
for
watch.
sure.
Hopefully we get to enjoy it as well. Hopefully we get to enjoy it. On that note, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who's joined us tonight. Whether you joined us live, you left a comment, hit the like button if you haven't, by the way, or if you're watching us, on repeat on YouTube. Thank you everybody for joining us. Um, Calvin, my pleasure. Janet, thank you. And yes, absolutely, Janet. We're going to be live tomorrow, right, Osvaldo? After the game. Um,
Yes,
yeah.
sure.
All right. We'll be on that. Thank you, everybody. George as well. Make sure the chimichurri sits in the fridge overnight. Prepare a good asado tomorrow. Y vamos Argentina. And Liam, thank you guys. Rohan is asking you, Osvaldo, Nadal or Djokovic? Or
Nadal,
neither?
Nadal,
Nadal?
Nadal. But between Nadal and Roger
Mm.
Federer, Federer.
Okay, see, I'm a Djokovic fan. Over
Cool.
Nadal. Over Nadal.
Wow.
Anyway,
Cool.
yeah. Thank you, Midway, for joining. Calvin. Janet, it's Bastille Day. It's true. I forgot about that. Nadal, there you go. And BC, thank you everybody for watching us. And thank you everybody once more. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that notifications button to be the first person notified as soon as the new video drops. We are going to be live after Argentina versus Ecuador at the Copa America for our live discussion. Make sure to join us. Once more, my name is Roy Nemer of MundoAlbisasi.com. This is Osvaldo Godoy of MundoAlbisasi.com. Take care, everybody.